Hey friends, Chad here. I don't have much planned for this video in terms of scripted or what I'm really gonna say in this video. It's really just more so, next month I'll be 25. Life is moving, and I guess the purpose of this video for you, if you're watching, is to help inspire you a bit that you don't have to have everything figured out. And if you're in the social media space where maybe you're on self-improvement, or you want to be an entrepreneur, you're watching videos how to make money online, and maybe you're stuck in a job that isn't really fulfilling for you, you don't see yourself doing it long term, you know that there's kind of a better way to set your life up, and you want to start building a good life for yourself, and you're in your early 20s, then just want to share a bit about my journey. And there may just be one nugget of knowledge from someone who's about to turn 25 that might just help you feel like you're doing the right things, and that it's okay that you don't have everything figured out. So one thing I learned that is key to this whole thing that's gonna make my story make sense is the path gets clear as you walk it. And that's been true for me so far, and I'm here still not having everything figured out, but I have a couple pieces in place that have helped me get a good, substantial, solid foundation down for my life at a young age in my early 20s. So if you're just out of college, there's going to be something that's going to be beneficial. And I don't want to rush this video. I'm just going to chill, take my time. I'm chilling out on the beach here in September. It's just turned fall. I love the weather here. Just unwinding on the Sunday, the day off here. So I was a lost kid in college, and that's where I'm going to start. Let's even go back further. In high school, my parents hadn't gone to college, so I didn't really have like a vision in mind on what it would even be like to go to college, or how that even worked. So I never really took school seriously. It wasn't something that my family had in their generations have really done seriously or fully, and I was kind of the first one who my parents had aspirations for me to go to college, and I figured it was the right thing to do, right? But I still never took things seriously grade wise, and ended up applying to some schools, ended up getting one. I actually got deferred like admissions for it because my grades weren't that great, so I ended up having to go locally to take some classes to kind of prove that I was on the right track to go away to school. So ended up going away to school, did the whole party life, fraternity, college life living, and I really just pushed off responsibility. And my mindset at the time in college, this was around like 2018, 2019, 2020, and I graduated in 2021. But my mindset throughout college was that I'll figure it out when I graduate. Let me just get the degree. I thought like a degree was the next best thing for what my life setup was gonna like help me just make money. I thought that I wouldn't care what I would do. I would just worry about it when I'm graduated, and I'll make money at that time. So it wasn't a great mindset to have, and it bit me in the butt when I graduated and ended up I started just working how I knew how. After graduating, I needed money, so right away I got a job working at a restaurant. Ended up becoming a bartender there for a while, and at a certain point I was like, okay, well let's kind of figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. Let's put this degree to use. Still in this mindset that like, I don't know, I didn't have everything figured out. This is the point. And I just want to share like where I've been since. So I ended up getting a job through a friend, which I'm very grateful for. It was like an assistant job at a corporate company. And what I was doing was kind of, I'm grateful for it. It gave me like professional experience, and it was kind of like I started to see through that type of work that, wow, like I really have to start living with intention to kind of figure out what I actually want, because I always had just taken what kind of fell on my plate, what I could get, right? I never really targeted like, okay, this is something I really want, so I'm gonna get it and like do the steps necessary. My mindset was just like, oh, let me do this, like kind of half-assing it through life. I would say that's the gist of it. And why do I say this? Because it put me in such a state of pain working in a job that was like, I was spending 40 plus hours a week doing work that I just really did not see how this was like, one, I didn't see myself doing it for the long term. I didn't see myself like climbing the corporate ladder, doing something like that in that type of work. And two, I didn't, where was I going with the second point? Two, it put me in such a state of pain that I was like stuck in that situation. I was still living at my parents' home, working a job. You know, I was making money, okay money, but I didn't feel like I had the life that I didn't feel like I was set up for a life that I wanted to live there. So I started to eagerly try to find a way out. I thought initially that like, okay, let me try to make money online. And if you're on the entrepreneur space, you'll see tons of like, it's so flashy, where you see on social media people, you know, being completely free, traveling the world, making money online, trying to like doing in these quick, easy methods. And I was trying all of these things on the side. And I tried like, well, at first I was selling like music beats that I was making at the time. And I was like, okay, let me try to make enough money to where I can quit my 9-to-5 job and just do what I love and kind of and quit and then travel. And then that was the dream, right? And you know, it's still a long-term goal, right? It's still the dream. But I was trying copywriting, freelance copywriting, and I was making a few $100 from each of these things. And I was trying other things too. And this is gonna kind of you're gonna get a clear vision on what my problem was, which is jumping from thing to thing. But I was trying other things too, like selling digital art online. Because I was into like graphic design. I was just doing what I thought. I was just trying to do, like, express my creativity and do something meaningful for work and try to supplement my income for that. That was kind of my state at the time. So those were like the three main things. I was trying to make a clothing brand. I even like went as far as getting a custom hoodie built. I wanted to make my own hoodie line, but I just didn't get far in it, man. I like got one sample made and it was cool and all, it was dope, but I just didn't have the clear picture involved. And I ended up, you guessed it, jumping to the next thing, the next shiny thing that came across my plate, right? So here I was trying to do all these things, jumping from thing to thing, and not sticking with it long enough to make any progress in those areas to supplement my 9-to-5. So at a certain point, I got so fed up with not fed up, but like I was so not enjoying the work I was doing that I ended up getting another job in like telemarketing, not telemarketing, but like a call center. I got a job at a call center that was in a different state because I was desperately trying to move out of my parents' home, and it only really made sense if I went somewhere far away. So I ended up, that opportunity came to me through some networking with people in like the space of copywriting, and I thought I was going to be a copywriter at this company, and I thought I was going to go that route, and ended up getting into the company just to try to learn the ropes. I didn't have enough experience that they wanted to be able to get a copywriting position, so I ended up just going. I thought it would be a good move away from my hometown. This was last year. Time has been crazy. This was last year, around like May 2023. I ended up moving away from home, and I got an apartment with 2 other people in like a shared apartment, and it was chill. I was going into the office, and I was still in the job, right? I was still in the mindset that like I thought I was gonna take copywriting fully and grow it there, but it ended up just not being where my heart wanted it. Like I just felt that maybe this wasn't for me. So there I was, I was going to work. I was still trying to make money online. I was still trying to build something of my own, which was my dream, right? And I was just growing my social medias, right? I was posting some random videos here on YouTube. I was building on Twitter, just writing, reading about stuff, bought some courses around like branding, social media, and was doing that, man. And eventually I networked with some people, and I learned something that changed my life here. And if you're watching this far, this is where the real value of the story that I share will come in. I learned about sales, and everything became clear to me. I learned that sales was the #1 skill that you can learn as a young, ambitious person who wants to set themselves up to be in control of their income and eventually own a business one day. Why? Because sales is foundational to all of it. Sales is communicating with other people, making an exchange of value for the product or service that you have or that you're selling for. And it's actually the reason why I failed in the other businesses that I tried. It's the reason I couldn't get the good copywriting clients. It's the reason I couldn't portray the value of my services and find clients successfully, and why I ended up working for free a lot. In music too, sales would have helped me out there, but it's like, this is the place that I wish I started in the beginning. Very beginning. If I started in sales, which I'm in now, and I'm at one of the top industry companies in tech as an organization, which I'm very grateful for, and I really worked my way to get a very good sales position. So that's where I am now, but this is just what I wish I knew sooner, man. Getting into a good sales position. There's a number of reasons, because all the top people in the entrepreneurship space, to give a few examples, like Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, other guys, like a lot of other very like successful figures have worked in sales and started in sales as their career. And at first my mind was like, oh, well, this is just another job. This is just another 9 to 5. Like, I'm trying to do something of my own so that I can escape the 9 to 5, right? But I had to take a step back. I had to really take a step back and be like, well, look, where I'm going to build a business isn't clear to me yet. And what's clear to me is that I have to stick with one thing long enough to really see it through. And everything has its issues, right? Copywriting has its issues. Music has its issues, or problems, or bumps in the road. And you really have to stick it out through those points to see success in any of these things. And I wasn't clear on what business I wanted to start, and am still not 100% clear on what like the long-term business that I'm really gonna make an impact on the world is, right? And the thing is, it takes time to figure that out, and you don't want to rush it and be needy out there in the marketplace just trying to make money for yourself, right? You want to really take time to figure out the areas of life that you really want to make an impact, innovate, and build your business around and your brand around. And so sales just made sense. It made sense. Look, let me just put my head down for a bit, get into sales, make some money, learn communication, learn speaking, understand how the marketplace works in business, how business works, how to identify problems out there in the market and position value of a solution, to introduce prospects, potential clients for the product. Like, sales is the front lines, basically. If you think of an army, like, sales is the front line. You're out there, you're bringing people in to, I don't know if that's the best analogy, but you're on the front lines of business, and you're learning from the front lines to the inside and the back end and the fulfillment side. You're like, have an inside seat to all of that in sales in a good company. Now, of course, at first I thought that the high ticket sales online space was like where I wanted to be, because it's all flashy, you can travel the world, all this stuff. And I really learned through mentorship and really learning the insides of this stuff. Committed a lot of time, learned from various different people, paid a lot of money to learn from people in the space that were successful and doing well. I learned that, like, the best place you could be if you're a beginner who wants to get into sales and wants to be an entrepreneur one day is to get into a good structured company. And there's a handful of reasons. Like, just to be quick about it, you're going to have better leadership that's going to support you, give you resources to succeed and invest in your growth. And two, you have higher base pay. Like, you will make more money, especially off the bat, because you have more of that safety net of a nice solid base pay. And on top of that, you have a good, confident commission, because it's a proven product. And if you get into high ticket sales, like, it's very difficult. Usually, a lot of times they're a one-man team or a two-person team. You're not going to have a high base pay, and they're not going to have enough time to teach you and grow you into the salesperson that you need to be. It's very difficult to get into off the bat. So if you're someone who really wants to get into sales, that's what I would recommend: getting into a structured company and remotely. I work completely remotely, which is the lifestyle that I choose to live, and I don't see myself being in an office really ever again in my life. But that's basically what saved me, and it's what the path that I'm on. And another lesson here is, like, I don't have everything figured out yet, right? But what I do have figured out is that you need to stick with one thing long enough to see it work. And you can't jump from thing to thing. And you need money, right? And you need a little time and freedom for yourself to figure out life. So getting into a sales position will give you that money, a little bit of that time and freedom that you crave. It'll give you the skills that you'll need to succeed in business. And then while your head's down and you're learning skills and learning sales and working remotely, and are able to move out of your parents' house and start figuring out what you want, like, you can start figuring out where you want to make an impact on the world in a purposeful way on the side. And who knows, maybe you help people with sales. Maybe you find that that's your passion because you can make a lot of money and it's performance-based, which, if you're an ambitious guy or an ambitious person who's, like, really driven and wants to be an entrepreneur, like, you will crush it compared to the average person out there in sales. You will just, if you apply your same, like, self-improvement drive and your ambition, like, you will just crush it, and you'll have a lot of fun, and it just will never be a bad ROI for you. You'll mold into the person you need to be able to speak clearly, confidently, be more confident. You'll get your mindset right. You'll learn time management. Like, you'll learn all the intricacies of what you need to know in business, like fulfillment wise. Like, you can see all this stuff from the inside and sort of learn, and you'll just be molded into someone who is bound to see success, and you'll never have problems with finding clients, basically, and knowing how to sell and communicate the value and make that transaction so that you can start working with people. That's basically what you'll learn daily in sales. So I hope the passion that I have and what I've learned and the pain that I've gone through is coming through the screen right now for you, if you're someone who's lost. And hopefully this is really meant to share a little bit about my journey and what I wish I did sooner. I wish I just got straight into sales, put my head down, and then on the side just kind of figured out who I really wanted to help, where I wanted to make the most impact. And that's kind of the journey that I'm on now. Like, I don't have everything figured out. I think that the biggest thing I learned is, like, find out where you want to solve the biggest problems you want to solve, and who you really want to help and are passionate about helping, and really dial in on that. But really spend time, like, just learning sales, because it's going to help support your business ventures as a young guy, and will give you some money and freedom now to do the things you want, move out of your hometown, travel a bit, buy the groceries that you want. And that's kind of where I'm at now, and I'm really grateful for, and just am compelled always to share the value that I have on my YouTube channel here for you. So hopefully you found a couple nuggets of value in this video, but otherwise I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, that's all for today. Chat out. Peace.